Yeah, good evening everybody. How are we doing? I'm just doing the usual rearrange the camera for this scope. Laura's here, Barvu is here, I see Stephen Dempster is here. Everybody's coming on as usual, guys. We'll just give people a few minutes. People starting to heart it up already. This is what I like. So for people kind of new to Periscope or don't use it, one way that you can help people out like me who do these broadcasts and stuff to kind of get better rankings and get more people on these broadcasts is by hearting it up. Now you do that by just basically tapping the screen. Now you can tap with one finger if you want and give a few hearts, or you can tap with 2 fingers and give loads, or even 3 fingers or 4, or just like this, and then you can give, I think you can give out like 500 hearts during any kind of one broadcast. It takes you 90 seconds to do that by doing 2 fingers. So if you're loving these broadcasts, I'm seeing the hearts coming through, then yeah, heart it up. And Dan Twiddy's here. All right, Dan, good evening to you. If you're in the UK, it's already gone 10 PM here in the UK. I do these Periscopes every night, 10 PM in the UK, giving out motivation and mindset hacks, really to help people take their lives and their careers a bit further, a bit faster. My name's Ross, I'm an actor, I'm a voiceover artist as well, and a lot of people who join me on these scopes are actors. I am about to launch Nina's here, following you now, excellent Windsor. Good on you. The hearts are coming through. Yeah, so I'm an actor, and a lot of people who follow me are actors. So sometimes on these scopes, people have asked questions in the various communities that I'm a part of. I'm about to launch a mindset course in a few weeks' time in October for actors. So a lot of things we talk about kind of might be related to that. However, saying that, if you're not an actor and you're on this scope, a lot of what I'm saying tonight will absolutely make sense. We're all actors on Periscope now. Now that's very true. That's really true. Yeah, exactly. We're at least presenters anyway. Definitely people who do scope. Tonight's topic, it kind of follows on from a lot of what we've been speaking about over the last week or so. Like I say, I've been doing these scopes now. I think this is about the 10th or 11th one on the trot every night at 10 o'clock. And we've talked a lot really about success strategies, mindset, tips that will kind of help you focus and get further. Tonight's topic was brought up by Nina, who I know is on the scope because I've just seen her, and she posted in the Bulletproof Actor group that she's a part of. If you're not part of that on Facebook and you are an actor, get yourself to facebook.com/groups/Bulletproof Actor, request to join, and I will add you to the group. So Nina put, okay Ross, I know we've had this discussion in private because I've emailed Nina a few times, and she said, but others might like to share this. So how do you keep motivated and moving forward in this 3 steps forward, 2 steps back business? Now I get that in acting. Sometimes you feel, you know what, I get that in life. Just in life, I don't think it just applies to the acting industry. Sometimes for a week we'll feel we're flying, and then the next week we'll go, oh my God, I feel like, you know, what I've just achieved last week has kind of come crumbling down on me. But I do get that, Nina. It says, when you feel like you've done everything, networking like a ninja, staying positive, great feedback from everyone you do work with, up-to-date show reel, your background looks very professional. Oh, thank you very much. Well, it's a few bookshelves from IKEA, really, in an office in my house. It cost about 100 quid. Pretty inexpensive backdrop. So Nina says, yeah, when you do work, you get great feedback. You've got an up-to-date show reel, headshots, liaising with your agent, researching your own work, you know, and still the doors don't open. You know, she feels like it's impossible. Is it impossible to answer this? How you actually stay motivated? It's not, Nina. It's impossible to kind of give any one kind of factor that might be holding you back. But what I want to go through tonight for everybody is 3 steps really that you absolutely need, are the key ingredients when you really need and you're looking for a breakthrough in your life. Now, a breakthrough really is something that can happen quite quickly. It can happen overnight. It's where you can put a few things into practice that will give you a new direction to attack whatever the problem is that you're after in your life. It will renew you with that motivation. It will make you feel empowered, like, right, I'm now ready to go and kick some ass. And hopefully, if you do these things properly, it will set you on a path that will lead to that breakthrough, turning into success towards whatever it is that you want to achieve. What can happen with some people is they feel that they're getting breakthroughs, but they're not. They're false breakthroughs. So have you ever done this, where you'll be coasting along for a little bit, things will seem quite good. Things will seem like, you know, you're getting somewhere, and then it might try and like things might slow down a little bit, and you start kind of going downhill a little bit like this, and you're getting a little bit more wound up and a little bit more depressed there all the time, a little bit more angry, and then suddenly you get yourself into such a state. You go, bang, right, come on, Ross, this isn't like you. You're going to do something about this, and suddenly, you know, you get that motivation through kind of anger, really, and disappointment in yourself. You go, right, I'm going to kick some ass. Something's going to change, and then you start kind of coming back up again, and then you feel better temporarily, and then things will go okay again for a week, and then you start coming back down again until you become really, really down again, and then bang, yet again, right, come on, I'm going to do something, and then you start to come up, and we call this in mindset and psychology terms a crazy 8. And you end up, this is like your pattern in life, your emotional kind of state. So it's up and down all the time. You get so frustrated, it's like, come on, let's do something. If you get that, and I think we all do, give me some hearts or just type yes. Let me know if you relate to that. You know, because I think a lot of people will do. You'll coast along for a bit, get annoyed at yourself, then you'll do something, then you won't, then you'll do something. So Nina says, yeah, she can relate to that. This strategy, the strategy that I'm going to give you today for a breakthrough, should hopefully help you with this, and do it in a far more productive way than just having a crazy 8. So the first ingredient, okay, when you're looking for a breakthrough in your life, yes, you can always make a change. You can root a toot, and I'm going to show you how to do that with these 3 ingredients. So the first thing that you will need in order to make a breakthrough, and the things that you need to assess, check this out, guys, I've printed them out tonight. Boom. Okay, strategy. Little Bulletproof Actor logo there, just to tease people for when the course launches. So strategy is the first thing that you need to assess. Now, I've said this on another scope earlier last week. I said Einstein's definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Now, for actors, there's kind of like a false formula that people think they need in order to be successful, and those things literally comprise of 1, getting an agent, 2, getting a show reel, 3, having your headshot done. Then what happens normally is people go, okay, well, my agent will do loads of work for me, so I'll kind of rely on them. I've got my show reel, that must work, and I've got my headshot. So I've got the package, and this is kind of like what I need. So if I plug these 3 things enough, and I try and get myself out there a little bit and network as well and meet people, then something is bound to happen. Now, for a lot of people, it might do, and it might happen, you know, quite quickly. They might start getting auditions. Other people might start having a slog, you know, for longer and longer and longer. But what we can always do at any time is assess our current strategy. Now, it might seem on the surface that you're doing everything that you can do in order to get further, and you're thinking, I'm doing it all though. I've got my agent, I've got my show reel, I've got my headshot, I'm writing to people, nothing's working. And you go, right, well, if it isn't, then something has to change. Of course it does. And I wrote an email to Nina a couple of weeks ago, and I mentioned this on a scope as well, that change doesn't always have to be massive. I gave that analogy of a farmer driving his tractor to the same field every day, and those tyres on the tractor cut ruts in the mud, so eventually he can get in his tractor, put it in gear, take his hands off the steering wheel, and the tractor will still go to the same destination. We do that in life. So initially we get our headshot, show reel and agent, our hands are on the steering wheel for that entire process, and we're working hard. After that, it comes off, and then we do the same thing over and over again, and we just end up in the same field, expecting a different result. Now, if we put our hands back on the wheel and turned it even 10 degrees, 5 degrees, just a small change, it might be a change in your covering letter to casting directors that you're sending out. It might be the order of your scenes on your show reel, or it might be your agent. You know, you might go, you know what, they're lovely, lovely people. They seem great, they seem professional, but it isn't working. And what works for one actor, your mate might be with the same agent and they're getting loads of jobs, and you might not be. And then you start going, oh, is it me? No, it's not necessarily you or anything you are doing, but what works for one actor won't work for another. Strategy, okay, there's so many different strategies to get one thing. You imagine if you want to lose weight, okay, how many different strategies there are to do that. You can join a gym, you can go on a diet, you can go on a boot camp, you could go to a retreat for 6 months, you know, you can go on one of these detox things that keep seeing popping up on my Facebook, on a 9-day starve yourself detox. Don't know how healthy that is. But there's lots of different strategies to end up in the same place. So we want to start looking at what strategies are best just for us. Okay, one of the things in Bulletproof Actor I talk about is not doing what everybody else does. In society, we're kind of taught to just follow the herd, do what everybody else does, and it doesn't always work. The pioneers and the people who really make a difference in the world don't really ever do what everyone else does. So first of all, Nina, I would say let's look at your current strategy. Let's see what is working and what isn't working. And we need to start making some changes. And those changes might be hard. Like I say, it might be a matter of you being, I'm really top friends with my agent and they're great and they're such lovely people, but unfortunately, you know, they're not getting me the work. So professionally, the relationship isn't working. Personally it is, and I don't want to upset them. And that call to your agent when you say I'm going to leave is horrible. I've only had to do it twice, but it is horrible. And I'm certainly not saying that's what you need to do, you know, but I'm saying this is things that we can look at. Strategy is key. However, we can't form great strategies until we have two other things in place, okay? The second thing, and this is the biggest thing, this is what Bulletproof Actor literally revolves around, and it's story, okay? We all have a story in life, our life story, and it's based and formed around lots of things, mostly past experiences, and our story are the things we tell ourselves for why we can and why we can't. Vishal, good evening, seeing you join. Our story is why we can and why we can't do things, okay? And we all have these. Bulletproof Actor, this Unstoppable Confidence Infinite Success course that I'm doing, good evening, is based around people realising their limiting beliefs and what limiting story they live. And even if you don't think you've got limiting beliefs and you think you've tackled that part of your life and you go, yeah, but I'm always positive and I don't have these limiting beliefs, you still probably do. And you need to really kind of drill down and look at those. People have all kinds of limiting beliefs of why they can and why they can't do things. And it goes AAA checklist, awareness, analysis, action. Like it. Sounds good. Absolutely. So yeah, be aware of, I guess it kind of ties in with your strategy. Yeah, absolutely. And be aware of and analyze your story. So think of the things that you might be holding you back in your mindset. Okay, we have all kinds of things in this, all from things like, actors have these things where I go, I haven't trained enough, I've not been to drama school, so you know, maybe I don't feel like I'm quite, you know, I'm a bit of a, so people think they're a bit of a fraud if they've not done that, and it's ridiculous. Other people go, oh well, my appearance, so I'm not good looking enough, or I'm not slim enough, or you know, I don't look like a leading man, or I'm always going to be this character or that character, there's not a lot of parts for me. That's a limiting belief. Age is another one. Oh, I've come to it too late. There's an amazing actress I'm going to get on Act On This to do a podcast with. So Act On This, for those who don't know, is a website that I run for actors. It's a community website for actors, and I interview people and do podcasts and broadcasts and interview famous actors and directors and producers and stuff. There's an actress who I went to drama school with, who when I went to drama school 10 years ago was a mature student. Okay, she's now, I think she's now 50. Which isn't that old, you know, I'm 33, time is flying by, but she's never had a break, never ever had a break. She's been working at this since she was in her teens, okay. She went to drama school quite late because I think that was holding her back, she felt that would hold her back, and she graduated in her 40s, she's now 50, and only now, after such a long slog and believing that she had something to, you know, something to offer, she landed a role about 6 weeks ago. Can't tell you what it is yet, so it'll come out in the media. It's going to be quite a big controversial story in one of the soaps that will change her life. That will change her life financially, fulfillment-wise, emotionally, you know, physically, all, you know, lots and lots of ways. And she has tried and tried and tried, and it's only been in the last 6 weeks she's hit that breakthrough, you know, and she's now she's utterly, her life has completely changed. But I would see her Facebook posts from time to time that would be these very, I'm doing everything, why is nothing happening for me kind of thing. And I would always be like, look, you know, let's assess what you're doing, look at your strategies, look at your story, because she definitely had a lot of limiting beliefs, and one was her age. I'm getting old and I'm still not made it. People, if I've not made it by 25, I'm never really going to make it very big. All these kind of things that were just holding her back, and her story was really limiting. Okay, and we need to. There's a lot of strategies that I talk about within Bulletproof Actor that can help you rewrite and recraft your limiting story into a limitless, empowering story, and that'll be, you know, probably for another night. But for now, yeah, look at your story and look at what might be holding you back. And you've got to dig deep here, you know, and sometimes that's quite uncomfortable. You've got to go, really, do I truly right now, truly believe that I am going to succeed? You know, am I visualizing that success? You know, can I see myself doing that? Or am I really kind of in my mind almost convinced that I won't do it, and subconsciously really holding myself back from putting myself out there, looking for new strategies? And I'll talk a little bit about this in a minute. To get your strategies right, so you need your story, but you need something else as well, and you can't really create an empowering story for yourself until you've sorted out your state. Okay, now we talked about this last night as well, in terms of changing your state for an audition, how you can change your state from an uncertain state where you're a bit like this, through your physicality, to change it into a certain state. I'm going to go in that room and I'm going to, you know, I'm really going to deliver and do a job. Our state is like the glasses that we put on every day in the morning. Okay, if you get up in a negative state and you are down, okay, it's like putting some tinted glasses on, and everything that you see through those glasses for the day will be negative. We all do something called negative stacking. That's what we call it in mindset and psychology, if we're not careful. Okay, now heart this up, or give me some yeses if you think you can relate to this and you do this. Okay, so negative stacking is this, right? There's one thing that might be not going quite well in your life, okay? Now from there, you'll sit on your chair like this, or you might lie on your bed, or it might keep you awake at night. And that one thing that is wrong, suddenly you go, oh my God, well that's wrong. Well, oh, well that means this is wrong as well. And then that's wrong, and then that's gonna happen, and then that's gonna happen. I used to do this when I used to work in a computer game shop 10 years ago, and I hated my life. I was going, I just want to be an actor, I'm stuck in retail. I'd lie in bed at night, and this is mental, right, but I'm quite happy to admit this. I would go through this kind of negative stack sometimes, and this is pretty extreme, I don't do it all the time, but I would go, right, I'm in this shop, and I hate my job, right? I'm really unfulfilled. I want to be an actor, but I have to stay in this shop because I need the money. Okay, then I would go, now that thing was kind of, that wasn't true, I didn't have to stay in that shop at the time, it was a limiting belief, but that actual thing of me working the shop was true, that was based in reality. Then this would happen. I'd go, right, well, that job pays like very little money, I'm probably really going to always struggle to get a mortgage if I have to stay here. Then I start worrying about a mortgage, right? This is like 10 years ago, mortgage hadn't even really been on my mind. Oh God, if I can't get a mortgage, then I'm never going to own my own place. Oh God, well that's going to be, I'm a loser. Right, if I can't own my own place, then what kind of woman or somebody is going to want a guy who can't even support himself and have his own place? Oh my God, well, I'm never going to meet anybody then who's going to think I'm any good and is going to want to be with me. Shit. Right, well I'm never going to get married then. Oh my God, then I might not have kids. Whoa, this is mental. So I would go from going one thing based in reality, of going, right, well I'm in a job that's unfulfilling, to suddenly all these things down the line that had never ever happened and were so unlikely to happen, but my body didn't know that at the time. I was kind of convincing myself of all these bad things, stacking all these negative things one on top of the other. Mark Twain said a brilliant quote. He said, I've been through some terrible things in my life, a couple of which actually happened. And I think we all do this, where we just stack all these things, negative, 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 through this state that we wake up in the morning, and everything that we see then is negative for that day. Little things that wouldn't bother us if we were in a positive state and we had our positive glasses on, suddenly become big things, and they all stack up on each other, and we just sort of like, you know, have a bit of a meltdown and go, oh my God, well it's never going to happen for me then, I'm never going to have a good career, I'm never going to have this, then I'll never have that, oh God, I'm just such a loser. If you don't get your state right, if you can't align your state and your story, then those strategies I talked about at the beginning, you can't make good strategies for yourself, guys. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to address our state, and one thing you can do by to address your state is by positively stacking. Let's not negatively stack anymore, right? And this goes back to, I've mentioned this a few times as well, but we need to be the observer in our lives and actually stand back and observe the good and the positive that is in our lives. And we can do that by asking ourselves really good quality questions, and we can wake up in the morning and go, what am I grateful for today? What am I excited about today? Who do I have in my life who I get love from, I love myself, and appreciates me being here? What can I do today to help somebody else? You know, rather than waking up and going, will I ever make it? Am I good enough? They're really bad questions, really low quality questions. If we wake up in the morning and we kind of are appreciative of where we are, because this is just a job as well, right? Acting is just a job, okay? And I think a lot of times I've come to terms with now as well, and this is quite hard, a couple of years ago, go, you know what, no matter how far I get in the acting industry, it will never be enough for me. It will never fulfill me in all the ways that I need. I'm always going to need other stuff in my life to be fulfilled. So I start focusing on those other things as well. So when I don't have all the acting work, I've still got, like, you know, my glass is still 60-70% full. That acting work isn't necessarily the be all and end all of our lives. And really, you know, I mean, you look around you today, it can't really be, can it? You know, you can't go, actually, you know what, this is it for me. I'm not going to be fulfilled otherwise. But our state can really kind of alter our story, and it can help us find those new strategies that will, you know, that will really aid us to have a breakthrough, you know, and to get a little bit further. But we can only do that by consciously creating positive habits as well. So you do need to, you know, make sure that you choose to feel positive when you wake up, because you have a choice, guys. We need to remember that as well. People go, I can't help but feel like this. You can. You actually can. It's one of the only things that you kind of can control. You can't control the situation and the things that are happening to you, and if you're not getting auditions and you feel like you're not getting very far, you can't necessarily control all of that, but you can control the way you react to it, and that's the same for everything in life as well. So remember, 3 things, okay, for a breakthrough that I want you to think about tonight are, let's just recap. First up, strategy, okay? How do we get good strategies? Look at what we're doing in our life at the moment, look at what's working and what isn't working. If it's not working, something has to change, okay? If you're doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, Einstein says you're insane. Second thing is our story. Look at what might be causing you limiting beliefs in your life, past experiences that are still limiting you today. You know, things that somebody said to you 10 years ago that you might still be hung up about today, okay? Look at those limiting stories that you might be living, and let's change those, flip them into empowering stories. Go, actually, what did that experience give me? What did it, you know, what did it do for me rather than what did it take away from me? Then our state. Put them positive glasses on in the morning. It'll change everything. It's like that looking glass that you look through and see everything through, you know, through those glasses. You're going to see things in a more positive way and see more opportunity if you consciously choose to ask yourself those positive questions in the morning, those quality questions about what you're going to be appreciative for, who's in your life, what you're excited about, what you're going to, you know, what you think you're going to achieve today. When you've got your state and your story in line, then you can figure out, you know, what are going to be the next best strategies for you, and hopefully they will lead to that breakthrough. One thing as well before I go that I want to say, and this is important, I bang on about goals all the time, okay? Now sometimes I don't think goals necessarily are, in some situations, are that empowering sometimes, particularly in acting, where your goal of success might be so many steps away. Because what setting that goal does is it actually is preventing, almost like preventing happiness in your life and fulfillment until you hit that goal. So you're putting it off. You're almost putting off happiness in your life until you've hit that goal, and that's a pretty unfulfilling thing to do. In that situation, what I think you should look at in the acting industry and in your career in general, guys, is let's not look necessarily just at the goals. Let's look at the processes, okay? So imagine a football coach, his goal, say someone in the Premier League, right? Their goal might be to win the Premier League trophy, okay? That's their goal. So that means, really, if that's just their goal, are they going to be unfulfilled until they win that trophy? It's pretty bad, isn't it? Because you might not win it and there's a long process to go through. If you actually, his process would be the daily training of the team, okay? Now it's probably better to actually celebrate and focus on the process rather than the goal. So in your acting career, let's focus on the process and the little achievements you can make along the way. So it might be getting in touch with 3 casting directors this week who you've never spoke to before, and you might send a different covering letter to each one. You've got to get so, people need to realise, well, you've got to get so goddamn specific when you are writing to these people. And don't just send the same letter to each. I've said this before about split testing. So you can go, I'm going to send this letter to this casting director and this letter to this casting director, or this letter to these 3, this letter to these 3. The one that has the most responses, I'm then going to use more often in future. If you send the same letter to 6 and it was a bad letter, but you didn't know it was a bad letter, you didn't get a response of any of them, you're in the dark. 3 to 1. 3 to one letter to 3, sorry, another letter to the other 3. See which one has the best hit rate. It'll only be emails for you or something like that, you know. So test that out as well. That's part of the process. Then when you get a reply, celebrate that and go, yes, you know, all right, I'm not in Hollywood yet. That's going to take a few years or a few months or whatever, but I've got some progress. you know, and I can celebrate that success. It's not always about that end game, you know, so let's focus on the processes as well. So that's kind of it for tonight, guys. There is no absolutely like one setting strategy. It's more about the journey and the destination, says Dempster, says Steve. Yeah, no, it is, and you know, and it is cliched that, but we really do need to appreciate the journey along the way as well, and for what it is, and just look at actually kind of how fortunate we are to even be able to go on it. You know, there's so many people, when you look around the world at the moment, all these refugees with literally nowhere to go. You know, they're not bothered about whether they get a recall or an audition or something like that. You know, they're bothered about actually kind of staying alive. What sort of things should you include? In what, Laura? What do you mean? What sort of things should you include in your processes? Just clarify that for me, but let me know what you mean. If anyone else has got any questions as well, yeah, let's get a bit of interaction going. Type some questions in. Oh, the letter. Right, okay, well, if you're writing a letter to casting directors, you've got to be writing for a reason. Okay, that's kind of like above all else, has to be a reason. Now, that reason might be something simple like you've got a new show reel to show them. It might be that you're appearing in a programme tonight, and it might only be 2 lines, but you go, hey, listen, at 8 o'clock I'm going to be on Casualty on BBC. Tune in, I play this character. You know, I'd love to see you, you know, for anything you think I'd be suitable for, so check it out. It might be you're appearing in a theatre show or something, or you are, you know what, maybe you're just going, I've just left, for those who have just left drama school and stuff, going, hey, I'm either leaving in a couple of months, or I've just left this month, I'm completely new to the industry and I'm trying to get my face out there. Do you hold generals anytime, you know, where, you know, I could maybe come in and just meet you for 10 minutes, not read for anything, or, you know, not audition, but I'm going to be in the area in 2 weeks' time. If you have spare 10 minutes, it would be lovely to pop in and you know, and see you. But above all, yeah, you need to kind of write for a reason. If you just write, dear sir, madam, here's my CV, would love to see you at some point, bin. Just going to literally go in the bin. Be specific, get people's names right, for God's sake. Don't send people, you know, if somebody's name's Nikki, don't check out if they are a boy or a girl. You know, people, Nikki Bly, who's a top comedy casting director I interviewed a couple of weeks back, says she gets Dear Mr. Bly. Ridiculous, you know, she's not a bloke. At least research the people who you're sending stuff to. It's insane. You must do your homework and make these people have a real need for significance in life in general. Make the people you're writing to feel good. You know, watch what they've done, comment positively on their work, make them feel badass, so that they go, wow, you know what, this person's taken loads of time out to research me, watch my stuff, has appreciated what I've done. They just seem like a cool guy or girl. Yeah, you know what, I will spare you 5 minutes. If you're in London, you're around the corner from my office and you have an audition somewhere else, pop in for 5 minutes and I'll meet you. There's always strategies that you can put in place, you know, to have these breakthroughs. That is definitely one. Getting in touch with people. Don't be afraid of that. So many actors are so formulaic and afraid of casting actors because they're like these gatekeepers to the industry, and they go, oh, well, I can't write to them, or I feel afraid to pick up the phone to them, I don't want to waste the time, they're going to think I'm an idiot. You have nothing to lose. Seriously, you just literally have nothing to lose by getting in touch with these people, as long as you are specific and you target them and you've done you've done your homework. You're not writing the same letter to just every single person. So yes, that's part of this process, like I'm saying, and enjoy that. Enjoy sitting down and going, I'm going to put 2 hours in today of focus work to just write some emails, write some great emails as well, not just one paragraph. You know, I might write, don't keep me too long because then I've got time to read all that, but I'm going to write 3 very focused paragraphs that show my personality, that show I've done my research, and show that I, you know, that I should be taken seriously. Any other questions, guys, on breakthroughs, on strategies, on state, on story? Bulletproof Actor, Unstoppable Confidence. Super advice. Cheers, Nina. Absolute pleasure. As always. Yeah, Bulletproof Actor, Unstoppable Confidence is a mindset course that I'm bringing out in October. It's absolutely kick-ass, guys. I promise you. It is absolutely going to change people's lives if you go through this course properly. It's 5 modules. It's about 4 or 5 hours of video, 5 in-depth PDF workbooks to go through. You also get the option to go through with me live online on a weekly basis as well. I'm so convinced this is going to change lives. If people do invest in this product and you go through it, okay, I'm a man of my word. If you go through this and you don't feel that it is 10 times your confidence, that has given you, you know, multiple breakthroughs, has given you motivation, has shown you a route forward, and has given you, you know, that unstoppable confidence to have that success. If you can prove to me you've been through the course and you've filled all the workbooks in, you can have it for 30 days And if you feel that it's not done all that for you, you send me one email and I will give you 100% refund. You have absolutely nothing to lose by taking up this course. I believe in it so much. The more I do of it, the more I'm like, honestly, I just think it's going to be brilliant for people. It's stuff that has absolutely changed my life, and I know it. I'm so excited because it will do absolutely the same for you. If you want to be involved with that, go to bulletproofactor.com, leave your email address, and you'll get on the mailing list. Then you'll also get an invite to our private Facebook group, secret little Facebook group where there's about 50 people in it now, and we're all very positive, you know, supportive of each other. I post all these topics for these scopes that I'm doing every night, and we're creating a little bulletproof family. So come and be a part of that. So guys, it's been awesome. Anyone else got anything to say or any questions? If not, heart it up, give me some hearts, and I'll be back tomorrow for another scope at 10 PM UK time. Depending on where you are in the world, it might be a different time for you, and I don't know what topic we're going to talk about because the topics are all dictated to by the Bulletproof Actor Facebook group. So if you want to talk about something specific tomorrow, get yourself in the group and post that there for me as well. I will post the replay of this tomorrow morning for everybody who couldn't join live. If you are watching the replay, thank you so much for watching the replay, particularly to this point. I know it's been quite a long scope tonight, 30 minutes or about 32 minutes or something like that. Have a fantastic night, guys. Get yourself to bed. When you're in bed tonight, start positively stacking. Be appreciative for the great things in your life. Don't focus on the one negative thing in your life and then let it run away with yourself, like I explained before, because that's just mental. Until next time, guys, thanks so much. I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.